Well, I don't know about you, but the end of that season was a little bit mental, but we did end up getting done what we needed to get done at this point in the save, which means next season we will have some Champions League football. So let's see in this episode, with a season review included, if we can get the squad ready for a European campaign. Probably bottle it in the process like we did the Premier League. How are we doing, everybody, and welcome to part 7 of Club 4 here on MyCareer on FM23. I'm Stu, thank you for watching today's video, where as mentioned we're going to sum up the season that was, and then we're going to have a look at what we can do for next season. And if you're excited to see how we get on in today's video, do not forget to leave a like on the video for me, and to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the nonsense coming out of this space right here. This will be the last video that you will see this house in. By the time the next video is recorded, by the time this video is finished, to be honest, it might even be that we've moved by the time I finish recording this video. But at that point, we will have moved. So, enjoy the surroundings, basically. But let's get into everything and let's have a look. So, we have finished the season. It's our first trophyless season for some time, though. For 3 years, I think, actually. So, that's a bit sad. But we did get done what we needed to get done. Remember, we've already won the Champions League once with Southampton, unexpectedly. This part of the save is all about winning the Champions League 2 more times at 2 different clubs. So this is club number 1, well, club number 2 technically, of Champions League hopefully winners. So we have a lot of work to do. And we put in a lot of work in the transfer market and we spent a lot of money. I'd argue probably too much money. Transfer-wise, Pinamonti is rated as the best transfer we made, £20 million. He more than earned that back. We knew what he was like from our time at Southampton with him. He was a goal machine there. He was a goal machine here. One of the best players in the league. And for £20 million, bargain. Even at 32, an absolute bargain. Other transfers, Maximiano did an okay job in the couple of appearances he made for us. £12 million. Bit more than I wanted to pay, but you know what? It was okay. Alan Skinner, this is a signing very much for the future. He is going to be replacing Pinamonti at some point, probably even this season. Didn't necessarily score many goals, but that's because Pinamonti just played so well. We had to sacrifice someone, and unfortunately, £113 million doesn't guarantee you a starting place. This was a weird one. Philip Van Eyden, 31-year-old striker on loan from Newcastle for cover. Got injured and was out for most of the season, came out towards the end of it. Got a couple of goals and assists and did play quite well, actually. If he was 2 years younger, I'd get him back, but not going to happen. Marlon Boa came in as our starting left-back, did very well for us. 39 starts, 2 sub-appearances, got a goal, got 7 assists as well. Very nice indeed. January signing Jeremy Alberghi. I think we looked a lot more solid when he came in. Ironically, after he came in, that's when we had our worst period of the season. But I do think he looks like a superstar for us. 25 years old. He's entering his peak now. He's already a Belgian international. And look at the value he's got. He looks sensational. Very good when he came in. Edmilson came in both as a backup right back and also future starting right back. Did okay for us when he came in. Didn't start many games because we have Reece James still and he's still usable. £65 million. Then, I'll be honest, this one, spent a lot of money on him. £135 million for a player we know very well, Diego Tapia. Didn't set the world on fire, but we didn't expect him to. That's not what he's here for. He's here for helping link the midfield up, and I think he does that quite well. Lubos Derica, English international. Is he international? Yeah, he is international. Yeah, it's part of the reason why we signed him. But English centre-back, 22 years old, signed him from Man City for £50 million. Started quite a few games, had a couple of rough periods, so we need to see more consistency from him in the future. But Derica and Alberghi, that is going to be my central defensive partnership of dreams. Quentin Timber was signed as well. We'll move him on this season. He was a filler player. We don't really need him anymore. Let's move him on. Alice Hisek, former Chelsea player, also played a season at Southampton. Came in, did okay off the bench. Again, was brought in for squad depth, but I think he's still got potential to grow and get better. He'll do a decent job. I don't know whether a striker will be his position or whether it will be as an attacking midfielder, but he'll do a decent job for us. 59 caps for the Czech Republic, or Czechia. Can't remember what it's actually called now. Lewis Murray from Southampton, loan deal. Weird one when he's only 2.5 star, but we knew from Southampton that he could deliver when called upon, and he did okay for us, to be fair. Didn't start many games. When he came off the bench, looks lively enough. Elias Komac, we'll just forget he exists. He's going to get moved on this season. I don't even care if we make a loss on him. Rodrigo Bentancur, we loaned him in. £1 million we had to pay for the pleasure. Really did not play well, but yeah, he's not coming back. Transfers out. We tried to get out as many as we could, but it was a bit of a challenge. So I don't think that's necessarily going to work as well as I want it to. So we'll just go through them. Nuno Perez, we moved on. £11.5 million to Benfica. Julian Alvarez, £20 million to West Ham in January. Enzo Fernandez, £57 million to Milan. David Neres went on a free. That was already sorted before we got here. £38 million for Vanderson to Newcastle. That felt like a steal at the time, to be honest with you. For us, not them. Raheem Sterling went on a free. We just wanted to get the 37-year-old out of the club. Calvin Bassey went for £17.5 million. Julian Timber in January, we went for £54 million. That's how we managed to afford Diego Tapia. Kai Havertz went for £39.5 million to Real Madrid. Paulinho went on the free over to Lens. And I think there was a couple of these ones here which were players who we were never going to use. New gens who we don't really know anything about. This guy here as well. So they were the big ones really. So a lot of players in, a lot of players out, a lot of money spent. And that got us a 4th place finish. Now, bear in mind with that, if we have a look at Chelsea's recent history in the league, let's have a look here. Since the start of FM23, 22-23 season, they finished 3rd, 5th, 3rd, 3rd, 4th. And the last time they finished 4th was 26-27. This was 31-32. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 barren years without the Champions League. Potentially 3 of those without European football as well. So we have returned Chelsea back to European football with the best points difference they have had. All save long, actually. So we have done a successful job here, regardless of anything else. Yes, they finished 3rd in these seasons. We got more points this season, and at one point, we looked like we were going to win it. So let me just go back, and we'll just go to what we were looking at. So that is the table. Top goal scorers were Ratcliffe and Pinamonti. Ratcliffe, who I thought was a homegrown Chelsea boy, turns out he's not. What an incredible season we started with, though. Yes, we had a bad start against Liverpool, and we weren't sure about the formation, which was a 5 at the back at the time. Changed things to a 3-striker, 4-defender system. Worked really well to begin with. Started to get stale around here. We changed it to a kind of 4-4-2, but with 1 holding midfielder and 3 central midfielders. That worked for a bit. Ropey around here, and then nosedived in that period there. Oh my word, that doesn't even tell the whole story because it doesn't include the FA Cup. Then we changed to a diamond, and things picked up then. The loss against Southampton feels like a weird one, but that did get them European football. I'm not overly unhappy about that. I mean, it says it doesn't at the moment, but I'm sure it will. But everything looks okay, to be fair. In the grand scheme of things, we did what we needed to do. In terms of the FA Cup, don't want to talk about it. Got knocked out in the 4th round, by Arsenal. The board were not happy with that whatsoever. Carabao Cup, however, we got to the semi-final. United beat us 1-0 in either leg. But, you know, it's one of those things. We were asked to be competitive. We were competitive, so we'll take that. So, as moments to remember, 5-0 leads. Pinamonti with 2, Ratcliffe with 3. Nice. Match to remember against Arsenal, 3-0. Second game of the season, Mount and Pinamonti with 2. Nice. Goal of the season. I knew it was going to be this one. I already know what the goal is. It's Mason Mount, and it's an absolute beauty, unless it's another one. But this is when we were using the 3-striker system right at the beginning of the season. And this was a win against eventual champions Manchester United. If this is the goal I'm thinking, I don't know if it is, you know. I don't think it is. This is a different one. But he has scored a couple of those this season, Mason Mount. Peak Frank Lampard is what he's looked like this year. That's probably a bit harsh on Frank Lampard, to be honest. But there was another one where it came out from a corner, got knocked out, he got it on the edge, took one touch, and then bang, top bin. I don't know if it's top bins, actually, but it was a spectacular goal similar to that one. So I'm not overly surprised. Now, revenue is down this season. So hopefully by next season, it will be going up. So down on revenue, about 10 million in sponsorship, about 10 million in broadcast, less than $500,000 in corporate hospitality. We're up in prize money, though. That must be the EFL Cup. I can't think of what else it would be. And also our Premier League finish as well. But we are down in matchday retail. In terms of our shirt sellers, it's Mount, Skinner, Pinamonti, Ratcliffe and James. 3 over 30-year-olds in there. So that could be a bit of an issue. But no increase in our stars. I think we need to have a good season, win a trophy to get that up. But this is what the team of the season is like. And I'm not overly surprised to see that it's a 3-striker system. I am surprised to see it's laid out the way that it is. So it is the 4-3-3 we went to the first time we changed the system after the 5 at the back. We then changed it so one of the deeper strikers was actually in the middle, not 2 of them at the sides. But you know what? It is what it is. So Dimitri was the goalkeeper all season. He was sensational, and I'm really glad that we're keeping him. James, Dorica, Albergi and Boa, not surprised at that back four. Balearic, Mount and Sabazlai, not surprised by that midfield three. Pinamonti, Ratcliffe and Skinner, not surprised by that striker three. That was the more consistent team we used for a lot of the season, and other players did change through it, especially when we changed the system to a diamond. It wasn't that at all, but we didn't really have a consistent way of it working. Sabazlai usually played as the attacking midfielder. But I can't really argue with that for that formation, if I'm honest, and we did use it for a decent chunk of the season, or a variation. Now, Manager of the Month for November. We didn't win Manager of the Year, which we won a bunch of times at Southampton, but we only finished 4th and we didn't win a trophy, so that's fine. Club Awards. Pinamonti's the Fans Player of the Season. I can understand why. Ratcliffe is Young Player of the Season. I mean, at 24 years old, it's probably the last time he's eligible to win it. Signing was Pinamonti. I can't disagree with that at all, to be honest. Goal of the season we know was Mason Mount. Top goal scorer was actually Ratcliffe in all competitions with 24 to match his 24 years. Most assists was Pinamonti, turning into an assist machine. I think he got that in the Premier League as well. We'll have a look in a minute. Player of the Match awards was Pinamonti as well. Highest average rating was Pinamonti. Second best in the league as well. And most passes per 90 was actually Jeremy Albergi, who came in January. Competition awards, we actually didn't win any, so someone must have beat him. 2 assists. Most Player of the Match awards in the season is a record breaker for Pinamonti at 9. And 120 million for Diego Tapia is a record as well. I will admit, that is far too much for him. This is the point where I will remind you, if you started with Chelsea, we did start this save at Dartford. So though episode 1 was at Chelsea, there were 3 clubs before that, starting with Dartford, then at Tranmere, then at Southampton. So if you want to have a proper look at all of this, please go and have a look through the rest of the channel. But we did start out in the National League. Was it North, I think? I think it was, I'm pretty sure. But we started off there. Eventually moved to Tranmere once we got them promoted to the Football League. Tranmere came in League 2. We got them promoted to League 1. And then we got them promoted to the Championship. And then we got them promoted to the Premier League. Took over at Southampton. Didn't even just keep them up. We got them into the top 4 2 seasons in a row before we eventually won a title back-to-back and then won the Champions League in our final season. So Chelsea, we haven't got much on here. Welcome aboard. We spent a lot of money. Spent a lot more money. Frank Lampard came back, apparently as manager. He came back as like the under-18s manager, so let's calm that down. And then we raised a lot of money as well, but nowhere near as much as what we did. And then transfer record, we know, was Diego Tapia. So what a season it was. We ended up getting quite lucky in the end. But that first part of the season, we were absolutely sensational. I think the diamonds that we're currently in is the way to go unless we completely overhaul how we play. I don't anticipate us doing that, especially with Pinamonti and Ratcliffe firing quite as well as they have done. I think pre-season we want Skinner to play more. We want him to become the guy because 1 cap, 1 goal. At 23 years old, he is good enough, but he's inconsistent. We need to get him to be a bit more consistent if we can. I don't know whether we'll be able to, but we'll certainly try. So, in terms of Division 4 going forward from Todd Bowley, who hasn't left the club, there were there were takeover rumours, but they haven't actually come to fruition. So, they want us to play attacking, entertaining football, which we have all season, so I'm okay with that. Grow the reputation and work within the wage budget. Now, the wage budget one was an issue last season. We've gotten away with it a little bit, but we did go over it. Those are contracts: 1 year for 34-year-olds, 2 year for 32-year-olds, 3 year for 30, 4 year minimum for everyone else. That's the 5-year plan. Next season, they're not expecting anything apparently, which is okay by me. They want us to work towards qualifying for the Champions League the year after, but we've already done that, and that's when our contract expires. And then eventually leading up to 36-37 to win the Premier League title. I'm hoping by then we're not even at Chelsea. I've kind of got a 2 to 3 year plan in my head of what I want to do with Chelsea. Now, granted, the money we've been given, which is a good amount of money, don't get me wrong, £75 million, and we've got a couple of 100,000 just about in the wage budget available. That, who are you? Who are you? Oh, he's going to that. I was going to say, I don't remember signing you. He's going out and we're getting that money. Okay, that's fine. That's a decent amount of money. I don't know if it's enough money to do the overhaul to the squads that I think we need to do. But we can probably move a couple of players on. Again, we have got some golden oldies in the squad. So we have a look on this view and we have a look at the age of the squad. So Benton Kerr is obviously leaving, so we don't need to worry about him. So actually, we'll take the loan players out because none of them will be coming back. There might be a temptation, if I'm being honest, to to keep Lewis Murray around because he's a handy squad player to have. But in terms of age, Rahm is retiring. We don't need to worry about him, so we need a left back. That's fine. Maximiano, we're going to get rid of him. We need a better backup goalkeeper. But we've actually got one on loan at Reading who we signed last season. So that might not be a problem. We'll keep Mason Mount this season, but it might be his last season at 33 years old. He'll be turning 34. His natural fitness is 16, but his physicals are starting to go down. So we might see him end up being in a bit more of a withdrawn position, though he is wanted by Real Madrid. So if they're willing to offer more than that, I wouldn't necessarily be against it, but Mount is a homegrown player. Pinamonti will keep, but I'd like him to become a backup striker this season. As well as he did, Alan Skinner needs to take over, really, with the quality that he's got. So I think Mount is safe. These two are definitely going one way or the other. Pinamonti's safe. Reece James, again, 32 years old, he's probably going to be safe. Natural fitness is 16. I think he'll be fine for this year, but again, Edmilson might take over. Possibly. Is it Edmilson? It is Edmilson. I got his name right. Szoboszlai's probably going, I'll be honest. He has been good this season, but we need to get an old player out and a young player in. He's got good value. I think we can move him on and make some money. Eric Garcia as well will probably go. Everyone knows I don't like Eric Garcia. Quentin Timber as well will probably move him on. He's wanted by Sevilla. I'll be happy to get that value for him. That's fine. Antonio Silva, I'd be happy to sell him, but actually he's been okay for us this season. Not spectacular, but he's done a job. Comac, yeah, he can get out. I'm quite happy for him to leave the club. I don't think we'll get that for him though. And then we get to the younger players as well. So there's a jump between the older players here and the younger players here. So I think there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 players we can sell. Call at 10 million. I don't think we'll get that. So let's call it 50. So 60 million, 70, 80, 90 million. Call it 30. Call at 25, 115. And call out, I don't know, 30 or 40. So we've got over £100 million worth of player to sell, I think. And that's not counting any of these guys if we wanted to move them on. Now, having said that, I don't think I do want to. Derica's going to stay, Boa's going to stay, Skinner's going to stay, Tapia's going to stay, Balaric, Edmilson. Harris could go, but he's a homegrown player, so we'll probably hang on to him. Hijek, Dimitri, they're all going to stay, actually. That entire roster there is free from sale. So I'm quite happy to move on the players that I've just mentioned. So I'll do that off camera, and that will leave us with positions that we need to sort out. Now, this is going to be a bit of a mess because I don't think I've updated it since the transfers that we've made. So Timber is going to be out of here. Boa's not a left back. Derica's right back. Derica's not a right back. So left back. Goodness me, Stu. Right back's going to be fine. Right, centre back. I'm going to be quite harsh on this at the moment, and I can do this off camera at some point. I just want to make sure we've got the players in. So those are the players at the moment. We'll move him out. And then we'll move you. We'll move you. We'll move you. We'll move you. And we'll move you. So definitely need a centre-back. Definitely need a left-back because although Antonio Silva can play there, it's not his position. And also the other guy is going to be leaving. Defensive midfields. Reece James could play there. Mason Mount could play there. Diego Tapia can play there as well. But realistically, we are going to need to bring in a backup. In terms of the Mazzala position, one of the central midfield positions, Balaric isn't going to play there. Harris does. Szoboszlai does. Ross McAllister definitely won't. You definitely won't. You're going to leave, and you can play there. So we've got one position, and we've got 4 players, but that's 4 players for these 2 positions. Now, bearing in mind I want to get rid of Szoboszlai, definitely need at least 1 central midfielder. In terms of Mazzalas, it's Mason Mount at the moment. Tapia can play there, Harris can play there, but they are both, I think, more suited for the playmaker position. So I think it's a Mazzala that we need. I think over on this side, we're okay. I don't think we necessarily need someone, but I will still have it in as a question mark, maybe, that we might bring someone in there. Attacking midfield, we need at least 1, possibly 2. At the moment, Szoboszlai is playing there. So we probably do need someone to come in to cover that position. Now, having said that, though, Harris can play there, Mount can play there, Hijek can play there, Komac, if we kept him, can play there, apparently Tapia can play there, but we're not going to have him in. So although there are players who can play there, including Ratcliffe, I think we need someone in. Striker-wise, though, I think we're good. I don't think we need to worry about the forward line. I think we've got more than enough players for. We've got 4 there. I don't plan on letting any of them go. Pinamonti might go. The only thing that might... Sorry, Pinamonti won't go, but he won't be necessarily a starter this season. The only thing that might change things is if Hijek becomes the attacking midfielder. And then we need an option. So let me just get rid of these guys. And let me just get rid of him. And then I mentioned goalkeeper before, but Brennan Bradbury's the guy who I'm thinking about, who's going to be the backup goalkeeper. Now, the only thing that might put pay to that is the fact that he is an English wonder kid. I might loan him back out in order for him to get experience. So if anything happens with Dimitri, got a ready-made goalkeeper already, And also, if we need to sell him, we can raise some real funds with him as well. So, thinking about it like that. So, that's the squad. So, again, we're looking at one centre-back, one left-back, one defensive midfielder, at least one central midfielder, one or two attacking midfielders. There is a decent amount to do there, but again, we've got the players to sell. So, that's the plan. We've got 70-ish million to do it to start with. I'm going to go forward and see what I can do in terms of making some sales, and then we'll have a look at what we can bring in, and hopefully we can get this squad ready for a good Champions League campaign. Alright, plenty of transfer moves have been going on in the background. So, to run you through the ones that we have already made, Eric Garcia is leaving us for Spurs. We're going to get 30 million rising to £37.5 million for him. Quentin Timber is leaving for Villarreal. £25 million all in one go. Chef's kiss. We're also letting one of our youngsters go, Andrea Marconi. He's not really going to amount to that much. He is a 4-star potential player, but 1.5 stars. He wants to play football for Chelsea now. Out the door. We've got £7 million, 11 million potentially in the future for him. So those are the transfers out, and that has got us 130 million. Now on top of that, so Barzlai is currently under negotiations. £36 million is Arsenal's offer. Paris Saint-Germain have neglected to make a counter offer. I was getting them both up from 30. Very successfully, I might add. Looks like he's going to be going to Arsenal. I'd rather him not go to another Premier League club, but I'd quite like £36 million for a 31 going on 32-year-old who's only going to start getting worse at some point soon. But he has been a fantastic servant for us. So those are the deals out, potentially, and looking the kind of what's looking like is going to happen. Maximiano is proving difficult. We might send him out on loan. Transfers in, we've got one on the move, and it is a left-back. Rowan Facena. Let's go with that. Dutch under 21 international, not made his full debut, but he is only 21 years old. He's potentially 4.5 star in potential, currently 2.5 star. Looks already very good. He was the Dutch Young Player of the Year. So we've got that offer going. And in fact, we might as well confirm it. It's going to be £25 million up front, £51 million total, £95,000 a week. We can comfortably afford it with the money we currently have in the bank. Let's adjust that ever so. Just give ourselves a bit more wage budget. And let's just confirm it, because he's going to be a little superstar for us. He's not going to expect to start straight away, but I think he's going to be sensational in the future. So very happy with that as a deal. It gives us the cover at left back that we've sorely needed. He looks good defensively and offensively as well. So I'm very happy with that as a transfer. Looks like we've got a transfer in for Maximiano as well. But let's just confirm all of this. Very happy to be joining us. We're happy for him to be joining us as well. So, transfer offer. We're trying to stop teams coming in with the wage contribution. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to put him up for loan and hope someone comes in and is willing to take him. Of course, his wages are the problem. So I've got no issue with someone just coming in and paying his wages and not paying a transfer deal. That'd do it for me. That'd be absolutely plenty. But it doesn't look like anyone wants him for that either. But I just do not want to pay his wages. I just have no interest in paying his wages whatsoever. If he's going to leave the club, we're going to cut ties with him. So we might end up hanging on to him just because we can't get rid. And that kind of gives us the option of keeping the other kid out on loan, the English kid. But then the issue with keeping Maximiano is I don't know whether he'll be good enough this season. And Dimitri, as good a goalkeeper as he is, and he's very good, and we're giving him a new contract, he is injury prone. If we have a look at his report, one of the two cons he has, he is injury prone. So that does concern me ever so slightly. So we'll just have to work with it and just see what we can do. But Dimitri's happy with his new contract as well, which is really nice. I do need to get friendlies ready, but that is what we're looking at in terms of our left-back option. There is also a centre-back option that I am looking at, and I can't remember his name, so I'm hoping that I'm able to find it on here. But he looked, I have to say, sensational, and I really, really hope I can find him. There he is. Mustafa Bayrak, 56 to 82 million pounds. He's wanted by Southampton. He's a 4-star centre-back already as a wide centre-back, 3.5 everywhere else. I mean, he's tall, he's quick, he's a good tackler, decent marker, positioning's good, work rate's decent, teamwork's good. Not the best leadership, but he's determined, he's good at making decisions. Composure's the one issue he's got, but he does play short, simple passes and does stay back, so he's not going to make any mistakes going forward. Passing's not that great, that's fine. I don't mind that. He'd be a central defender on defend for me. I think he's a great option. Do you know what? We haven't made an offer for him yet. Making an offer now for him. We have got £95 million left in the kitty. Let's go in with I don't know, 35 maybe? Going with 35. And then let's go in with another, I don't know, let's say 36. And then we'll add in one of those bad boys. And let's just make the offer and let's just see what they say. But I think he comes in as a not even as a backup defender. I think he goes in ahead of Jerica. He's quick enough that he can replace Jerica completely and Jerica becomes a backup. Which I feel a bit bad for Jerica because he is a good defender. But then we've got 3 top quality central defenders and also Antonio Silva. I think that's the route to go for. Central midfield we've not looked at yet, same with attacking midfield. But that would be 2 of the big issues we need to sorted straight away. And with plenty of money left over as well. And if we can get the deal for Szoboszlai over the line, even more money. If we can get a co-match out the door, which at the moment is proving difficult, I'm just going to put him up for unspecified. Barcelona were interested in him. It looks like their interest has cooled at the moment. I'd like someone just to throw an offer out there, just so I can consider what it is. See, our offer came up there for Bayrak, and I just think he'd be so good. Looks sensational. Okay, the composure worries me a bit, but everyone has their faults, and I think over a season, he would help us maintain more points than he would cost us with that composure. I think. Could be wrong on that though, but it doesn't look like we're getting anything coming in for Elias at the moment. So go away. I'll update you on those transfers. Let me just have a quick nose. No offers for Comac. There we go. Bunch of players are interested apparently. Barcelona want to pay 44.5 million. Well, hang on a second, Barcelona. I would be delighted with that amount of money. I would even offer you 44 million, but I would like a percentage of next sale. I'd be delighted with that. Dimitri's contract is signed, just to confirm. Francois, well, hello. Francois Herold, do we remember him? Formerly of Southampton, didn't really cut it there. Went to Benfica on loan, I think. Went to Roma, and then we sold him to Wolfsburg, didn't we? If I remember correctly, we made a hefty profit on him as well. Looks like he's had a good couple of seasons at Wolfsburg, and looks like he has started to fill out into a decent player. Dribbling's not the best. Good first touch. Long shots aren't that great. I'm looking at him thinking he's developed into a decent playmaker. Decent amount of assists. I'm tempted, you know. And look at the clubs that are in for him. I mean, it's a lot of money. But I think he'd be coming in and competing with Tapia. Wants to be an attacking central midfielder. I mean, I could probably accommodate that, to be honest. But he can also do the playmaker role quite well. So he could flick between the two. He's almost good enough to be an attacking midfielder. In fact, he is good enough to be an attacking midfielder. Leave this one with me. I'm going to see what I can do. But I'd love to get him in looking at him now. Because he looks like he really has developed into a decent player. Consistency isn't an issue. Which is one concern I did have. This doesn't look like it's an issue here. I mean, it's not going to hurt, is it, to make an offer? Got a really high release clause. I mean, I'm not going to be paying the release clause. Let's go in with like 40 million. I think, up front. Nah, let's go a little bit less. Let's go 32, and then let's go in with the installments. I mean, I'm using the installments quite a bit here, but it's Chelsea and we're in the Champions League. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Going with 36, and then we'll add in profit of 25%. We'll make the offer. Going to be making a profit on him. Right, I think he'd be a sensational signing, to be fair, and I can't believe I'm saying that about him when I wrote him off all those years ago. But let's see what happens, shall we? I'll be back, hopefully, with some good transfer news. Dominic Szoboszlai has left the club. He has gone to Arsenal again. Not my preferred choice, but we'll take what we can get. £36 million. 31 of that has gone into the transfer kitty, which means we now have £126 million and over £500,000 spare wage budget, but that has already been put to good use because we have got deals on the move. Bayrak and Herald both look like they're going to be in. They're both accepted contracts in principle. 42 million and 32 million, which brings up to 74 million out of that, which means we'd still have a good chunk left, actually, about £50 million left out of that. And motorbikes go past my house while I'm recording because reasons. And then wage-wise, it's £210,000, which, to be fair, is a saving compared to some of the wages that some of the players we've let go have been on. If we can get a co-match out who's on over £200,000 a week, that'd be even better. But I think we're doing some great business so far this summer. If these boys get in, that'd be fantastic. You already know, of course, about Facena, who'll be coming in as the backup left back, which is fantastic. Again, not designed to be a starter straight away, but has the potential to be one. And I think he will give it's not Ram, is it? It's where is he? Boa. He will give Boa significant competition in my eyes, and I'm very happy to see it. Very happy to see it indeed. Again, a co-match we just need to get out the door. At the moment, no one's really biting, so I'm putting him back up front specified. You saw there, Barcelona and Atleti both interested in him. We'll put him back up again and just hope someone finally comes in for him. We're past the point of the transfer window being closed now, so it is open. So teams might be more considerate of deals happening. I mean, it's not the 1st of July yet, but it's that weird point in June when everything changes back over. Traffic outside is so loud. I apologise profusely. But I'm really happy with the deals we've got on the move. Again, no one wants a co-match. Around £44.5 million. I mean, I've put him up for that, guys. And you didn't want him. I'm just going to put him up for 30. And we'll just see what happens with that. And fingers crossed someone just takes pity on us and puts an offer in for him. I just want to get him out of the club more for the wages. But any money we could get for him, that'd be great. That would be fantastic. Goalkeeper-wise, I am thinking we're going to probably try and loan someone in. I think that might be the best thing to do. Because, again, the young English kid that we've got, I mean, to be fair, straight away, as soon as I say that, Maximiano gets an offer for $4 million and he's on a decent chunk. Get out of the club. I don't want you. But, again, a co-match, no one wants him. I keep putting him up. There's interest in him. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to offer to clubs. Let's put him up for 20. 20 would be fine. 20 would be absolutely fine. I'd accept 20. I need to do my friendlies. That's a fair point. I forgot about my friendlies. We've been invited to a friendly tournament, but that's not going to cover the whole summer. But Maximiano going out for $4 million is great. I mean, we've got a young goalkeeper who can literally do the same job as him at the moment. So that would be fine if we needed to do that. But squad-wise, we are looking a bit light on the ground. But that first team is still very, very decent. We get in the other defender and then the Heralt in here, and oh my word, so all of a sudden we're looking great. I mean, Diego appears happy to be a regular starter. That means he can come in and out of the team without really any issue. Mason Mount, again, although he's currently here, if we wanted to get Heralton to appear in the team at the same time, we could do that. Mount can play there, no problem at all. But I don't know whether it will suit him the more time goes on. That's the only issue. So I'm happy with how this transfer window is going. I do want to get a co-match out. That's the only concern I've got. And I'm just hoping, because Bayrak did have Southampton sniffing around, and I just really hope that they kind of leave him alone. I mean, if I nudge this, I can't nudge it any higher, actually. I wanted to nudge transfer budget a bit higher, but we can't. I'm happy, but I'm also aware we haven't done anything about attacking midfield yet, and that's the big thing that we need a co-match to go for, so we've got the funds to do something with that. Because again, we're not just after one player necessarily, we could be after two. But again, no offers for a co-match. It is proving difficult. Right, I'm going to go away. I'm going to sort those friendlies out because I keep forgetting to do it. And any movement, I will let you know as soon as it comes up. And that is another couple of transfers done. Heralt is in. It's an obscene amount of money for a player that we kind of deemed to be a bit of a failure the last time we had him, but he thrives on big matches. He's a leading Premier League player. He's consistent. He looks like he's improved a lot when you look at his period at Wolfsburg, especially on assists. I mean, we don't need him to make loads of assists, but his actual match ratings are looking pretty good compared to what he was like at Southampton. We gave him a chance there. It didn't really work, but it looks like he's grown up a bit in the meantime. Got a few more caps for Portugal. Very happy to have him in. Apparently one of the biggest names in world football, according to that, so that's very exciting. And also, Bayrak is in as well, which I'm really, really happy to see. Could be a superstar. Already looks really good. Great replacement for Eric Garcias. We've got the fans on side. A lot of money again, but I think that's a lot of player to come in. 6'5", you know, we love a big lad. So they come straight into the team. And I think, I'm sorry, Diego, but you're coming out. I'm sorry, Lubos, but you're potentially coming out. Maybe not, to be fair. I mean, Bayrak's in as a regular starter, so hopefully he doesn't mind sharing that role with Darica, because at the moment Darica looks like he might be the better player, but Bayrak, I think, is going to prefer to play on the left-hand side. Actually, he doesn't have a preference, but I think for simplicity, we would have him playing on the left-hand side, but he will come in onto the bench and be one of our three main central defenders, and then we will rotate between the three of them and then just have the backup being Antonio Silva. But I think already, look at the state of the squad. It's so much better than it was. I mean, we put Boa in as well. Oh, my words. Like, it's just the attacking midfield position, really. And then if we have Alan Skinner in there as well and we commit to that being it, we get the attacking midfielder sorted, and then that'll be great. Who's the attacking midfielder going to be, I hear you ask? Yeah, Hector Febre. Yeah, I've gone back to Southampton because this guy's still got potential. He's only 22 years old. He's got 40 caps for Chile. He's got potential of 4-star potential. He still looks like he could be sensational. I mean, that money has left us with £50 million, but if we take some of the wage budget out, I mean, that's a bit too much, really, if we're being honest, but we still got 50 million to use. Now, he would cost us 30 million. That would leave us with 24 million-ish. Call it 20 million. Yes, I've thrown in a cheeky bid for Capital. I'm aware I can't afford it, but I just wanted to see how much he would cost because I really like him. Akomak still hasn't left the club. We're going to put him up for transfer again. Real Madrid are now interested in him. I'm going to put him back to unspecified and hope, now that we're closer to the season, someone will just offer money. I don't even care how much it is. If someone puts money on the table, I'll consider it. And of course, nothing. That bid was rejected. I'm not surprised at that. I'm not actually genuinely considering signing him. But yeah, if we can get 30-odd million pounds for a co-match, I'll be really, really happy because that'll give us, again, about 80 million pounds to spend on 2 attacking midfielders and also a defensive midfielder. That's something we still haven't sorted out. We also need to work out what's happening with goalkeeper. Maximiano turned around and said he was happy to stay at the club. I then upset him. So I'm hoping he'll take the deal that's on the table. It's £4 million. I'm okay with that. And then we need to decide what we do with the goalkeeping situation with the kid, the English kid whose name I forget, coming back from his loan. My God, this is taking a while to load. Goodness me. Let's get to the next bit, shall we? I'd like to have a look at what's going on. Right. So, nothing else is coming up. I mean, we don't need him anymore. He was an option for a while, but it would have been quite expensive, actually. So, I'm very content with the transfers we've made so far. But again, a Comac, just no one wants him. And it's rather upsetting. Apparently, his value is like 66 million. So, let's put him up for 60. And let's just see if Real Madrid bite. I mean, if they offered that for him, my word. I mean, surprisingly, no one's offered it for him, which doesn't surprise me at all. 28 million for Barcelona. Right, that seems more realistic. So I'm going to put him back up for 30. I'm going to put it to negotiable. Let's just transfer list him again and let's just see what happens. Alaves wants Maximiano, who again, as far as I'm aware, still has an offer on the table. £4 million. We want him to leave. I'm going to do a bit of dark arts and move him to the under-21 squad to upset him. Hopefully that works. We don't really care about that. I'll do the recruitment meeting off camera. And then hopefully we get some movement on a co-match and we get some more money in. And by that time, Febre might be in. Remember, Febre never really got to play as an attacking midfielder for us because of the forms of Veloso and Cucchiara. Veloso. Why have I not thought of Veloso? What's his value at the moment? I mean, it's going to be too much. He's not for sale. It's a shame. I'd love to get Joe Veloso. We wouldn't be able to afford him anyway, but I don't think he'd want to come. How's Cucchiara doing since he's gone to Manchester City, actually? Not for sale, obviously. His value's through the roof. Didn't have the best season, though. If we're being totally honest looking at that, didn't have the best season. Okay. Changes nothing. I'll be back in a moment, and we'll work out what we're going to do from there. Transfer done for Hector Febre. He is in. And I've got to be honest, I'm really happy to have him, actually, because, again, he just didn't get the opportunity to properly show what he can do. Now, he's 3-star there. He showed 2.5-star there, but the potential is the thing. He will grow. He will get better. I'm really, really happy to have him in the squad because I think he'll just make us better, and it will be an opportunity for him to show what he really can do. A lot of money. £31 million came out of the transfer kitty, which means we have got 27 and a bit million left and a decent amount there. So we'll probably get one more player in with what we've got. We're so trying to get a Comac out the door. And players seem to, teams seem to be interested in him, and then they seem to not be interested in him. I don't know what we've got to do to get him out. I'm literally going to put him up for 10 million. And I'm going to see whether a club bites, and then we can do the whole, like, put him up for 2 million more, 2 million more, 2 million more, and stack it. Because it's just ridiculous to me that no one seems to want him. Now, worst case, what I'll end up doing is, I'll put him out on the loan list. But that doesn't solve the problem, because we then don't have enough money. So I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up basically putting him on the loan list and trying to get rid of him that way, and then just bringing loan players in, which I don't really want to do. But we'll have to do what we can, basically. I mean, that all seems very strict, but we're going to do it. No one wants McComatch. I mean, this McAllister is wanted by a few people, but I'm not letting him go because we need youth players at the moment, actually. We've not got many players in the youth team. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, because teams are interested in him. We're putting him up for money, and no one wants him. Like, this is becoming an experiment now. I'm putting him up for 5 million. Clubs are interested in him, and no one wants him. And I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. It's baffling me. It's really annoying me, actually, because clubs are interested in him, but no one just seems to be wanting to put an offer out. Now, his wages are high. I will accept that his wages are high. But just no one seems to even want to make an offer of any kind. I don't even care if someone comes in with £1 million. I'd consider it for the wages. I wouldn't accept it, but I'd consider it. My goodness me, it's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. Right, no one's in for him again. So this is the point where I think we have to do what we have to do. So I'll put it. I even put him down into the under-21s to try and annoy him to make him want to accept an offer if it comes through. But no offers are coming through, and yet there's still teams interested in him. So loan offer it is, and I'm going to leave the wages. I'm going to leave them unspecified, but we're going to loan him and see if someone will come in and grab him. No one wants him on loan. Just someone sign the bloke. Like, 2 of you want him. Unspecified. Just take him. I don't care how much it is for. No. Fine. Why offering enough money? How much is? That is. Right. Great. 900,000. It doesn't make any sense to me when teams are clearly interested in the player. I mean, I'm assuming it's some kind of bug in the game, and I'm assuming it's not the first time it's ever come up. But teams clearly want this player for any amount of money that's lower than that. I am trying to offer him for lower than that. I will change his value on here to 25 million and see whether that changes anything. That's one thing I haven't done yet. So transfer list. I mean, you watch now. I'm on camera. I've done that. It'll work first time. That would be my luck. I want it to work, but you watch. It's not going to work now I've mentioned it. I mean, if the game would load, that'd be fantastic, just so we can check it. No, nothing in transfers, no offers. I mean, that was ambitious. Right, well, loan players have left. So, Murray's gone, Van Eijden has gone, and we've got the new list of things that players who are going to kind of be leaving soon. I'm going to decline on that one, because Pinamonti probably won't stay here for another season. The problem is, without a transfer... Oh, goodness me. Well... That's a concern. I mean, I'm going to say, let's let you do what you want to do. They are getting on. Let's not annoy them. Let's let them do what they want to do, because we will probably be looking to replace them at the end of their contracts anyway. They are getting to that point. But no offers again for a co-match. So, what are we meant to do? I mean, I'm a little bit annoyed that we've missed out on this guy. How have we missed out on this guy? Because he's from Spurs, that's the reason why. Wouldn't have looked at him, would we? Because he's a Spurs player. That's annoying. Right, I mean, no one wants a co-match, despite my best efforts. I don't really know what else I can do. Really don't know what else I can do. We'll loan those two guys out just so they can get some more first team football. I mean, I'm putting the amount down every single time. I'm going to lock it in, actually, and see if anyone, that will make a team go, bang, 20 million. It might do. I don't know. Maybe there's a secret combination to get a team to make an offer. But just, it's really annoying me because I've not had a single offer in for him from what I can remember. But all the way through the summer, teams have been interested. And I know this kind of thing probably happens in real life. And I know it happens on FMs all the time. But it just bugs me. Just let me sell him. He was trash for me. Let me sell him. I fell out with him. He's not good. We've had transfer offers. Oh, my word. Madrid and Barcelona. Right, here's what we're going to do. Accept, decline. And then we're going to do the thing. Right. Finally. I do not even care if he goes for 20 million. I will be okay with it. I just want him out of the club. I want to get some more money. I don't care how it happens at this point. 20 million, that'd do me. I'd be very happy with that. I think it's going to be 20 million because I don't think we've had a counter offer. Right, Quentin Timber has officially left the club. So has Marconi. The mental groups need attention. The assistant can deal with that. Let's just go one more and see if it happens. Right. Finally, it looks like we're going to get some money. Okay, it's only £20 million. I'm a little bit salty about it only being £20 million. But I'm quite happy with it. Right, released list, actually. This could be interesting. Southampton have released Lewis Murray. I mean, he's not a good player, but I'm tempted just because he'd be free. Any interest in Basuma? I mean, I need a defensive midfielder, but I don't know. Let's offer him a trial of 4 weeks. Why not? I mean, Lewis Murray, we might as well offer a trial as well. Again, we need an attacking midfielder. I just think he'd be in a decent body to have in. Kolo Muani, I don't think we'll want. But I'm glad to see he's left because he always annoyed me. Don't think anyone else on there is decent enough, but Basuma and Murray could be interesting options. Right, both of them want to come here on trial. Let's just see how they do. Let's just see how they get on. I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine. But one of those would solve the defensive midfield option. Offer for Declan Rice. I couldn't, could I? He's 33 years old. 131 caps. Do I dare even attempt this? I mean, you'd want to be a star player. But I am tempted just to throw a cheeky offer in. I mean, he's on the transfer list for 22 million. That's within my budget. Let's just try and see if we can squeeze as much out of it as possible. Just pop that on there. And let's just see. I'm just tempted to see whether we could get him. Okay, offers in for Declan Rice. Okay, it's 33-year-old Declan Rice. We get him for 2 seasons. He does a decent job for us as a backup. Again, I know he said he wants to be a star player. He wouldn't be. He just wouldn't be. He wants a lot of money, though. So this isn't going to happen. But let's just go for it for the fun of it. Let's put him as an important player. Taking him out of that. He'd accept that. Wants a lot of money. But it's Declan Rice in the year of 2032. He's going to be a superstar at this point. Probably England captain. I mean, you've seen the amount of caps he's got. Appearance fee's fine. Clean sheet bonus is fine. I'm going to throw it out there and just see. He might... I mean, I don't know if I want him, but let's just see. Maybe he would want to come. It's well known. Chelsea's one of the club... I think it's the club he supported as a kid, I think, or something like that. So, maybe it's worth it. I think we're approaching a decent team here. Obviously, we are missing a few numbers to make it a proper team. But I think we're approaching it. I mean, let's have a look here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need 3 players to really make it a squad. One's a goalkeeper, one's a central midfield, defensive midfielder, and then one is an attacking midfielder. And then I think we'll be good to go. I'm really happy with where we're at, with all of that bearing in mind. Because again, I think we can loan 1 or 2 players in if we need to. Declan Rice, I think, is a pie in the sky one. But again, look at the wage budget we've got available, actually. We can put that up. I didn't realise the wage budget was so high. We could probably afford Declan Rice. Hear me out on this. We could afford Declan Rice. And then we could still afford two quality central midfield, one quality attacking midfielder and a goalkeeper probably. Are we actually going to sign Declan Rice? I think we're going to sign Declan Rice here, you know. Right, I'm not going to keep you on screen while I'm waiting for that to come through and while we're trying to do the transfer business because I've kept you on just rambling here. I'll be back and hopefully we'll have a defensive midfielder who may or may not be Declan Rice. And then we'll try and get on the attacking midfielder and goalkeeper. And then at that point, we might have a done squad. By the way, next friendly is against good old Dartford. See how we get on. Okay, look, I know this is a ridiculous one. However, he's a top quality player right now. He'll do for a season or two. And I got excited when I saw a big name player, if I'm honest. Declan Rice is in at the club. He's in for 2 seasons, so we'll do for this year. And then we'll see how he goes next year. But he'll come in. He'll be able to play in the defensive midfield position really well. He can cover as a centre-back as well, which is really nice. And I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. I think the opportunity to get him was just too good to turn down. I mean, he can play as a central midfielder as well. Want to play him as a box-to-box, fine. Deep line playmaker, fine. He is a sensational talent, and I'm really, really happy that we've got him. We will, of course, be playing him as a halfback. And he'll be really good. I'm not sorry. He can play with Mason Mount week in, week out. And he's a big name player as well. So the shirt sales will be going through the roof once we've announced a shirt number. So now it's just attacking midfielder and goalkeeper. And then if we can get anyone else in to just cover any positions, we will do. I'm genuinely considering Lewis Murray. And there's the deal we wanted to happen. A co-match. I did look at this guy as a potential Declan Rice alternative, but no, we're not doing that anymore. A co-match is going. We'll get £17 million for him. We'll confirm that now while we're on camera, so we see how much money we've got left to play with for this other attacking midfielder and any other deals we want to do. So £32 million, but if we change that, I mean, we've got nearly £40 million to spend on one player. Maybe, well, 2 players because we need a goalkeeper. So, speaking of which, let's have a look at goalkeeper, shall we? And let's see what we've got that's available to us. So, in terms of players that we have scouted, let's have a look. So, I don't really want to spend more than £10 million up front on a backup goalkeeper, if I'm being honest. So, Kelleher jumps out to me. He's an experienced player. I mean, if Hoyenhall was cheaper, I'd go for him as a backup. But looking at the players on this list, 2.5 star would absolutely be fine by me. Like James Trafford, for example. That's a transfer that I'd be willing to do. English goalkeeper. Got a couple of caps for England. His natural fitness is so that he stay like at this level for a while. I mean, what does he want? Deputy first choice, decent amount of money, £10 million. I mean, that's exactly what I asked for. I mean, I'll try and be a bit cheeky and we'll go to 7.5 and we'll see what they say. Not doing a per league appearance. It's not happening. What about if we go to 8 million? I know this is cheeky, but, you know, got to try it, haven't you? Let's just see about profit from next sale. 25%. What about 9 million? Would you accept that? What about 9.5 million? League appearances. Give you £1 million after a league appearances. I'll do that. Okay. I've been cheeky there. Let's get rid of that. Let's just make the offer of 10 million with that as well. I'm sure that'll be enough to get him. But finally a Comac has gone. I'm going to do it, you know. I'm thinking, Lewis Murray, let's just get him in the club. We know what he's like. We know that he can do a job for us. Let's just approach to sign him. We know he's going to be good enough. Emergency backup, I mean, he's happy to do that. That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to give him anything on there. There's a couple of Southampton boys here that he knows as well. Let's up that to 50. Let's not be too stingy. I'll give him another year on his contract as well. £10,000 a week appearance fee. He can have 7.5 as a assist bonus. A goal bonus he can have as well as 7.5. Let's just sort that out for him. I mean, he'll get the occasional opportunity. That's the thing. Not just as an attacking midfielder as well. I mean, he's never going to get this. So let's just put that in there just because. I mean, he'll get the odd opportunity to impress. That's the thing. And he's done a job for us. So that is an extra body in there. So we now need to do an attacking midfielder. So let's go back to scouted players. let's have a look at the players we've got. We'll have a look at central midfielder as well and see what we've got. Oh my word, can you imagine if we got Joe Felix in? I mean, that would be ridiculous. I mean, no, that'd be insane, wouldn't it? Because he's 32 years old, Stu. You don't need him. You don't need him. Really, we need someone who's probably a little bit on the younger side who can compete with February. That's probably more what we're looking for. But then an experienced hand wouldn't be that bad. But maybe not experienced in their 30s. Maybe we're looking at 26, 27, 28 maybe. Right, I'll have a proper look. And then when we find someone and we identify someone who could do that job for us, we'll try and get them in. Okay, so barring the goalkeeper, which I think we have got sorted anyway, I think the basis of the squad is done. Nathan Mackie has come in from Manchester City. Yes, another young English talent from Manchester City. Attacking midfielder, helped win the under-21 England's English Premier League Championship. I don't know. That thing you can see on the screen. He helped them win that. 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. He is a potential future superstar. I think he's going to be pretty sensational at some point. Welsh international already with 4 caps, 1 goal. Hasn't actually played a game for Manchester City, but did play a full season for Bournemouth, full season for Birmingham, played for Derby as well. I think he looks sensational. On the ball, he looks great. First play out wide, but can very much do a job in the middle. And will be, I think, a very, very handy player to have with us. So he's in. And then we also, for defensive midfielders, you already are aware, signed Declan Rice. He is in as well. And then we also, let me just get rid of the under-21 squad here. We also confirmed the signing of... No, it was Declan Rice. That was the only one. Oh, no. Lewis Murray. He's in as well. We've confirmed that signing. So, the only thing that's left for me to be completely happy is for the goalkeeper, which is going to be James Trafford from Atletico Madrid. £10 million. Contract is on the table. Another club has come in for him, but I don't think it's a club that's going to compete with us. Celta Vigo. Come on. I mean, I think we're going to be the ones to get him, and I think he'll be a more than capable backup for us going forward. And then at that point, I mean, what? We'll have about £5 million left. Decent amount of wage budget. I think at that point, we can start looking at loan players to fill the squad out. Because, again, bearing in mind, where is he? Lewis Murray, he's a squad player. Basuma won't be here. We'll have Murray as the 23rd man in the squad. So we could probably look at getting 2 more loan players in, maybe a defender and a forward, maybe. But I'm really happy with the work that we've done in the transfer market, to be honest. I am really, really happy with it. I think Nathan Mackie's going to be a young superstar in the future. I think a lot of the team that we have are going to be young superstars. So we'll get Trafford over the line. We'll see what loan deals we can do. But from this point on, I'm going to skip to the first game of the season because unless anything dramatic happens, that is pretty much us done. And I know I've already said it, but I'm really happy with the business that we've done. So bear with me. I'll go forward. Anything dramatic happens, I'll show you it. But if nothing dramatic happens, we'll see for the first game of the season. Oh, well, this is unexpected. We've been offered the England job. I mean, how can I not? I feel like we should. I feel like we should do that. That's a huge thing. That is a huge thing. I'm going to take a moment to think about that, but I'm going to cover transfers. So we have had some more transfers go through. We've got one more on the way as well. I'm just going to go to the transfer history window to confirm the ones we've got through. So James Trafford has joined the club. £10 million as a backup goalkeeper. Played in the last friendly against Crystal Palace and did all right, to be fair. So I would trust him if we needed to trust him. I'm quite happy with that one. And then of all of the players to bring in on loan, thank God Abaje from Southampton. Now, he's a 2.5-star player at the moment. Potentially can be a 4.5-star potential player. He has been on the Wonder Kid list in FM, the next gen list. That's it. He's been in the top 50 players, so he's got talent. He's going to be here as a player to make up the numbers. I'm not going to lie, but if he can come in and do some good, I'm not against it. We'll use him as an attacking midfielder as well as a striker as well. Paul Brennan-Bradbury has gone to Atletico Madrid as their #1 keeper for the season. I'm very excited to see how he gets on because that could be incredible for his development. And then the other transfer we're looking at the moment is a defender who can also play as a defensive midfielder. Now, we couldn't find that, so we ended up going with a defender who can play as a backup left back or potentially right back at a stretch. But we could probably cover right back if we needed to. We could probably cover left back if we needed to. But Louis Ferreira? Yeah, Louis Ferreira. I can't believe that name gave me all of the struggles. He's played 8 times for Man City, formerly of Birmingham. Well, formerly of Man City just in general, but played for Birmingham on loan for a season. We're getting him just, again, as a cover defender, and I think he'll do a decent job for us in that role. And once he's in, I think the squad's done. If I'm honest, I think the squad is pretty much done. As you can see, 13 bodies in here at the moment. That would make it up to 14. Say 13 bodies, I mean, like, outside of the 11. So that's what, a 24-man squad at the moment? So that would make 25. And I think that should be all right for the season, I would have thought. We've got 2 11s. So let me just sort out a strongest 11. Worth pointing out, I picked this without restriction. That's why Hijek is on the bench. But that, I think, is going to be our strongest 11 to start with. Obviously, there's a question mark about Balaric and Declan Rice. Declan Rice is probably technically a better player to start, so I'll pop him there for now. But that would be our strongest 11. Again, Skinner might be a controversial one, but I want him to play more than Pinamonti this season because I want him to be the future of the club. But then when you look at our rotation 11, I'm not going to say it doesn't have weaknesses in it, but I think that's quite a serviceable 11. I mean, Silva would have started any game last season, as with Ed Milson. Fashena and Bayrak are new players. Balaric is probably going to start more than Declan Rice, but just for the purposes of star rating, he's in this team. Tapia started a lot of games last season, as did Harris. Mackie's a new signing, and Pinamonti started most of the games last season, and Hijek was more than capable of, just he was kept out due to form of everyone else. And again, goalkeeper-wise, that person is new. So I think that squad is great. And then we're ignoring Obage down here and Lewis Murray as squad players. So I think we've got great coverage in this squad to go forward to the future. While I'm talking, I'm just going to restore the new 11. I do think we've got great coverage going forward. So I think in terms of our 11, we're pretty well set. Now, I've delayed about the England job. I think I'm going to accept it because, quite frankly, it's the England job. I know international management isn't the most interesting thing in Football Manager, so I might not go through all of the content the same way with you guys as I do with the main save, but I've got to have a think of how I'll do it. But I think it could be a nice little interesting spin on this team, on this save, and another trophy to win as well to kind of lead us into becoming this hopefully very successful manager. I might put a Barja on the bench, actually. Yeah, let's put a Barja there, just get him some football. But that, I think, is a very strong team. I think it's got us set up going forward. I mean, if we have a quick look at the players who have done, apologies for that, doorbell rang with a parcel. But yeah, looking at the pre-season, I think we look through, I think a lot of the players that we've got have done pretty well when we look at them. I mean, Balaric hasn't actually played that many games this pre-season. Apologies, that was a clinking of the glass. Goodness me, what's going on? But yeah, if you're looking through, quite a few players have done pretty well in their pre-season. Looking at the non-competitive down at the bottom and seeing how the players have done. Alan Skinner definitely has done well compared to how we might expect. But Ratcliffe leading the way. I mean, 11 goals and 5 assists in 7 appearances, which is great. But then Pinamonti, still exceptional. I mean, we compare those to Skinner. Skinner's got to do more. He really does. But there's always the potential that we sell him. Right. We accept it. I haven't actually done international management since playing FM23, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like. I have done it before, but I know it's not going to be that different. So let's have a look and see what it looks like. I mean, the most annoying thing is I know we can't train. FM developers, I really, really hope that's something you fixed in one of the next iterations of the game. But if we have a look at our squad, this is what the squad currently is. I mean, there's a lot of old men in here. Half the squad is 30 or over. Half the squad. It could be worth pointing out as well, by the way, though, that we're taking over from Jose Mourinho, of all people. So he didn't like using wingers. Well, you can bet your bottom dollar I am going to be using wingers. And 2 players who are definitely going to be coming with us are going to be the wide boys from Southampton. So I'll be very, very happy to use them. I mean, how do we search? Yeah, there he is, Jay Leathan. He's got to be involved, surely. We call those 2 up. and then we need to decide how we're going to play. I mean, to be honest, we're going to play a very similar way that we've played at Southampton and at Chelsea, but it's going to be one with wingers. So let me have a quick play around with that. Okay, I think I've settled on a system. I think I've settled on a group of players as well. I've just had a quick play around. Just thought, why not while we're here? There is a lot of talent. A lot of it is older, but we have found some young gems as well. I mean, the average age of this squad is on the high side, but if we look at the age of the squad, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 30-year-olds, but there's also a 22-year-old. There's a 21-year-old, 25-year-old, a couple of 29s, the 26-year-old and a 25-year-old. So there's a good balance there on the bench as well. Couple of older players, but we also have some 22-year-old, 3 22-year-olds in fact, 24, 25, 21, 25 and 23. And then these are kind of the players we don't have room for, 23, 24, 25, 24, and 2 of the 30-year-olds as well. So I think, on the whole, there's a good squad here, and it makes me kind of excited to be the England manager. But that's not what we're here for today. So, again, transfers we're waiting for. It's only one of them. It's Louis Ferreira. I'm going to leave things here. And then what we'll do is we'll get that one over the line. I'm not anticipating in the next week for anything to happen. So I'm just going to assume that everything's going to be fine. And we'll see you in the next episode where we will open the season. And that open of the season is going to be against Huddersfield. If you want to see our pre-season, by the way, that's how it looks. We started off really well. Had a bit of a wobble in the middle, but ended things strongly with a 4-1 win against Crystal Palace. As you can see, Alan Skinner did get quite a few goals. But Ratcliffe and Pinamonti really kind of stepped up as well. So I'm interested to see how things go at the start of the season. But we've got a nice start in theory against Huddersfield and Norwich. Things kind of heat up when we go against Champions United at the end of the month. And then we go further through where we'll have the EFL Cup and also the Champions League, which is yet to be announced yet. So I think we'll leave things there, and I will see you in the next video. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to leave a like on there for me. And don't forget to subscribe. It's completely free to do so. And it'll make me a very happy chap. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.